On behalf of Canada and the rest of the world, Americans, are you good? Because I'm watching the news and it doesn't sound like you're good. And for the 30% of my followers that are American, I'm sorry.
America's under attack. We're sitting here watching these hurricanes ravaging through numerous states, wildfires burning through our landscapes. I mean, Wyoming right now, it's nowhere to be reported, but hundreds of thousands of acres in Wyoming alone burning. And this isn't just some random act of nature, especially when you have 73,000 acres of fire, which was allowed to rage for days before anyone bothered to intervene. But it gets crazier because just north in Acme, they found rare earth minerals worth billions. I mean, reports are that Rock Springs Uplift in Wyoming could contain as much as 18 million tons of lithium carbonate equivalent, which is a total game changer for the lithium market. So while we're focused on the flames, right, all the distractions, are there true motives hidden behind the smoke? Because it's not just Wyoming dealing with this. I mean, look at North Carolina with its lithium mining potential, Florida with phosphate. These regions are on the brink of being ravaged for their resources too. And we're not just talking about wildfires. We're talking about a mindset that treats our land like it's expendable, where profits outweigh the lives of the people who live there. And we're headed to a future where, living like the Jetsons is amazing and we all want to be in flying cars, but at what cost? Because sacrifices must be made. And on top of everything, on top of this whole entire fiasco and devastation, the truth is that many of those affected in Wyoming by these fires, by these floods, don't have insurance to help them rebuild. And according to recent statistics, many homeowners in the rural areas, particularly in those in Wyoming, struggle with fire insurance coverage. So I have to ask whether it's too late to stand up now, because reality is like we're already living a future that's more like a nightmare.
This is a dried parasitic insect that you eat every day. Well, how is that possible? Well, watch closely. If I crush a small pile of these insects, scoop them up, and pour them into a vial of warm water, the water turns a deep red. This is used as a red dye under the names cochineal extract, natural red 4, E120, and carmine color. Carmine color is listed in the ingredients of this candy. So this candy gets its color from crushed up parasitic insects. Guess which of these products have parasitic insects in them? They all do.
Oh shit! We're all gonna die! Oh my god! What the hell are you doing?
Are Americans actually fucking okay?
Oh my god. No, thank you for asking. Everything we've ever known is a lie. Our history education is abysmal. Don't even get me started on geography. We're connected to pretty much every problem in the world. The majority of our government doesn't know how to use a computer, and they probably all have lead poisoning. And also, they stopped listening to us. They just don't listen to us anymore.
Look at how orange this is.
She's excited about the quality of the egg.
Oh, yeah. The food, too.
I want to be clear in how I characterize this. This is mostly a protest. It is not generally speaking unruly, but fires have been started, and there's a crowd that is. Stand up.
He said she killed two kids.
Stand up. Put your hands behind your back. Someone got rubber gloves. She's covered in blood. All right, you got gloves. You got rubber gloves.
So you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have a right to an attorney if you can't afford one, won't be appointed to you at state's expense. You have a right to have that attorney present during any questioning. You have a right to stop answering any questions once they begin. Do you understand your rights? Do you understand? Smile for me. Smile with your teeth. Go like this. Did you eat that cat? Did you eat it? No? Why'd you kill it? Get in there. It's ridiculous.
She gave her kids to somebody. You know what I mean? To try to be herself right mentally.
So she doesn't have her kids because she was telling people she killed them.
No, she never killed her kids. Her kids were with a family member. She sent them to somebody to try to get herself together. That person she sent them with was fucking beat her. They went somewhere else.
Okay.
So,
I don't know yet. Judy said they would and they'll hold the cat as evidence. She destroyed that cat. This is fucked. I told him, I don't like him anymore. As long as she had cat hair on her mouth. As long as I've been a policeman, I've never had a call where someone was eating a cat.
I hope it's not set the mood for Friday night.
We also have another major issue going on in our ports right now, and I just wanted to speak on it because I don't think a lot of people understand why they're striking. One of the major reasons I've been seeing coming out of videos and reports from people talking about it is that they get tired of hearing children screaming inside the containers. Yeah, you heard that right. The workers are striking, and one of the main reasons is they're tired of hearing humans being shipped over and screaming and banging on the inside of the shipping containers to get out. I understand we have a serious human trafficking issue in this country. I just did not think it was this bad. Never once did it cross my mind we need to be checking shipping containers for people. Can you imagine how long somebody's been inside of one of those, depending on how long they were waiting to dock? No heat, no air, nothing. I pray for the workers of the ports because I don't think they signed up to deal with people. Pretty sure they were just supposed to move cargo and goods. This is crazy, y'all.
There's violence down on Market Street, but we didn't know violence till we met Helene. And the good folks are drowning in their mountain homes. You'll have to take a vacation just to bury our bones. It's sunshine and roses on that TV screen. Those talking heads, they ain't seen what I've seen. I've seen a mother standing on top of her house, a baby in her arms as it floated on down. I watched my brother hanging on that limb.
Millennials were really out here preparing for a future that doesn't exist anymore. We grew up hearing either follow your passion or just go to a good school to get a good job and you'll be set. And even if we had the privilege to be able to do either of those things, follow a passion or use a good school to get a good job, we are still out here like 10-ish years later with the very bleak reality that neither a traditionally good 9-to-5 job or following a passion is enough to be set. Our corporate jobs are not secure. Even the best performers are not safe from downsizing, layoffs. So just being good at your job and keeping your head down does not guarantee security anymore. If you're trying to land a new job, the market is so competitive and so slow that you feel like you can't be picky at all, let alone hold out for something that you're passionate about. And entrepreneurship could be an option for some of us, but entrepreneurship, freelancing, fractional work, all of that comes with its own version of hustle and grinding that can be all-consuming and detrimental to some of our mental health if we're not careful. Like, that's not a surefire avenue to go either. I know my content is usually very solutions focused, but if you are tired or very confused or defeated that you did everything right to be successful in the real world and still do not feel that way, I hope you know or remember that it's not because of something that you did wrong. It's not a personal shortcoming. It's because we were following a manual to build an object that is now obsolete.
Okay, I want everybody to please watch this, okay? I need for y'all to tell me if you guys are getting warnings of threats towards your schools in your area. Okay, I thought it was just like my county, but I was just talking to somebody else about me not even sending my kid to school today because of the alerts we got. But then he was like, that happened over here too yesterday. And I was like, excuse me? I haven't went and looked it up because I wanted to come on here and ask y'all first if y'all were also getting this in your area. It's like all of a sudden, all of our schools are being threatened right now, right before an election. My kids' school, they just had a lockdown drill. And I know from previous school things that after they have these lockdown drills, something happens, you know? Why are we doing these lockdown drills to begin with? Because it doesn't make any sense to me, because the person that would be is also doing the lockdown drill. I mean, I have told my kid, I don't give a shit what your teacher says. You do not get in no damn group of anybody. Don't be hiding. No, run. Find a window and get out of that damn school as fast as you can. There will be no waiting and hiding and cowering. Nah. We're going to break windows and we're going to get out of that school. And that's what all them kids should be doing. You listen to them teachers and you're liable to end up in a pile in your floor somewhere. I ain't having it. I just want to know, is this happening in your area? Get back to me, please, and put your state and everything. If it is happening in your area, I just want to get a count of how many threats everybody's getting to their public schools right now.
Hundreds and hundreds of children were arrested this week for making threats against their schools. I made a post asking people what areas they were in that were seeing these threats, because we saw a lot of threats in Pennsylvania specifically. I haven't even gotten through half the comments. I have 208 pins on this map that I made of different schools and school districts that have gotten threats this week. Some of the threats were considered not credible, but a lot of these schools shut down anyway. I literally took the cities that people said in the comments and I searched every single city. Well, not yet every single city. I literally have so much more to do. But now I'm hyper fixated on this because how many schools actually received threats in the past week? I am so appalled. Looking at this map, doing this right now is making me literally want to cry. Because a lot of these kids were under 15 years old. Even if they're over 15 years old, I mean, what the fuck? I'm going to continue doing this map. I'm going to continue going through those comments and looking at the cities you guys are giving me. And I'm going to be Googling those cities and school threats in the area and putting them on this map. And when I'm done with the map, I'll post a link.
It's a damn shame what the world's gotten to. People like me. People like you, wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is. Oh, it is. Living in the new world with an old soul. These rich men north of Richmond, Lord knows they all just wanna have total control.
And let me see, what else could we pile on? Is there any more shit we could pile on to the top of the outcome of this case? Is it possible?
Okay, it's a fire at BioLab here in Conyers, and they just sent out a alert for us to shelter in place and close all your windows because this is a chemical fire. So look at those clouds. That is scary.
You guys, I am currently in the evacuation zone in Rockdale County, Georgia, where there is this huge chemical fire that I don't think they're telling us the truth about. I have a story for you, girl. Now, yesterday, this shit was burning some serious strange ass colors. Red, green, blue, you name it. And they weren't telling us what kind of chemical it was or what started the fire. But finally, they did tell us where they were evacuating, what they were doing, and the fire department lady said, this bullshit that doesn't make any sense. They said that a water sprinkler above some chemicals that were reactive to water went off, unexpectedly. It malfunctioned. It sprayed water down these chemicals that were reactive to water and created this huge explosion, causing a fire. They were able to put it out, and then it started back up again. It was a whole thing. But today, we got this. While I was on my way to work, we got one of these. And it basically just says stay indoors, blah, blah, blah. But later on, it said that the EPA, they said that it was chlorine. That it was water that mixed with chlorine that made this fire, and that they make pool chemicals, and that's all they do. That's not true. Biolab provides an on-orbit, whatever the fuck that means, on-orbit biology laboratory that enables scientists to study the effects of microgravity and space radiation on unicellular and multicellular organisms, including bacteria, insects, protists, simple eukaryotic organisms, seeds, and cells. Would it also be human? Maybe. I don't know about you, but my entire life, seeing pool supplies, working with pool supplies, never have I ever put chlorine into the water and it fucking start a fire. Okay, never. Now, this is the evacuation zone. Notice this big long line that comes all the way through here. That's I-20. Now, they shut I-20 down from this side all the way up to that side, okay? It literally shut down that whole entire interstate, and that interstate is what people use to get back and forth to get to Atlanta. Well, guess what's down here? Down here are the infamous coffins of Georgia. Yeah, let me tell you about that. Hey, these are the famous coffins of Covington, Georgia. They're off Highway 20. Now, what they do is they had all of these are coffin covers, okay, that they could use to put 2 and 3 and 4 bodies in if they had to. If there was like something big that happened, like some kind of chemical outbreak or zombie apocalypse or, whatever, they could put a bunch of bodies in these coffin cover things, and effectively it would seal in the radiation or whatever happened in that body, okay? Anyways, they keep these close to Atlanta because, well, Atlanta is one of the big, spots where, terror could happen or whatever. I don't think I can say that word, but you know what I'm saying? Where, big events could happen that could hurt people, So they keep these coffins really close to these big cities so that if something does happen, they can bury the bodies, contain whatever the contagion is, a virus or, radiation, whatever, they can contain it, put it in the ground, and everybody's good. Hopefully people survive, right? Well, those coffins are gone. Now, I don't know when they moved these suckers, but they're gone. I'm not saying that there's going to be a big event where we need these coffins. I'm not saying that there was not an event yesterday that caused a huge fire in a warehouse, because we saw that. What I'm saying is they could make a big distraction over here so that you don't see what they're doing over here. See, now if they shut down I-20, you can't see what they're hauling to Atlanta. Yeah? You get my drift? The point is they can do these things so that we don't see what happens. And I want you guys to always be on your P's and Q's, always ask questions, always wonder, what else is going on around me? Because things don't always make sense. Question everything. I love you for it. Follow for more as long as you can.
So apparently this happened in Minnesota tonight, y'all, during a baseball game. And it got so bad that this thing appeared. Look at this, y'all. Are y'all kidding me? That dark rainbow, that dark arc. Do y'all see this? Do y'all see all that flashing? And this just happened in Florida too. We had a lot of flashes here. This rainbow thing was seen all over Minnesota. Check it out. Y'all see that plasma bouncing off of it? We were just talking about this earlier, weren't we, right? It says 65,000 people are without power in the area. But look at all that flashing going on. Check it out, y'all. Wow. This is literally like a camera. Y'all, look at that sky. Look at that sky. And they had to cancel the concert, and there will be refunds given. Look at this, y'all. Look at that sky. Bro.
Why the world look orange like that? It's spooky. Spooky?
And then this was the sun the other night, y'all. Look at that. Are you kidding me? When I tell you these times are amazing, these times are amazing. And the sun just barely entered Leo, y'all. Things are going to heat up. It's not even in Virgo yet. The sun is behind. You see how these rides are shutting down in all of these amusement parks? Yeah, y'all better buckle up because it's gonna be a bumpy ride.
Fucking A. We're done. We're fucking done. The biggest impact of TikTok not being available in the US will be the reduction in the amount of Americans fighting to make the United States a better place for Americans and demanding the freedoms and human rights that are just considered normal in other developed countries. The problem is that the US media market is so insular that unlike other developed countries, Americans don't see what's happening in the outside world as much as people in other countries do, just simply because America is such a big place with so many media options that media companies don't need to go to another country to buy TV programs and, more importantly, news. They don't need to buy the hours of content from foreign countries that people in that other countries do. So Americans just don't see as much information from the outside world. Now, when it comes to things like healthcare freedom or the freedom to have an appropriate work-life balance or family time, those are things that are considered human rights now in other countries. When you've got a new mother who's 6 weeks after having a cesarean section needs to go back to work and it forces her her stitches to rip, that's not uncommon, but it doesn't happen as much in other countries because generally people don't go back to work 6 weeks after having a baby. And when an American mother sees that on TikTok that if they lived in any other developed nation, they would have been able to stay at home for another 3 months, year on top of what they had off and be paid for it, it makes them want change. And people in their family and lots of people they know will want change when they see what happens as well. But there's a reason why Americans work such long hours. There's a reason why Americans will be working until they're 70 before they're allowed to retire. That may happen in other countries too, but the difference is that people in other countries, 70 other countries, have a minimum of 6 weeks of paid leave a year. And that means that people in those countries get to basically retire for 6 weeks a year. They may take a 2-week holiday and a couple of 1-week holidays and then take some time off here and there. Or they may just take time off to relax. They may not go anywhere, but they get to relax like somebody does when they retire. And that is considered normal in every other developed nation. And the things like healthcare freedom, Americans don't know how relaxing it is. You can change jobs, not have to worry about filling in paperwork. In fact, you can go to the hospital, you don't have to fill in paperwork. They've got your details. You simply don't need to fill in. There is so much paperwork freedom in other countries. Tax returns, you don't have to do tax returns. In so many other countries, if you have one employer, you do not need to fill in a tax return because they already have your information, just like the American government already has anyway. But they even worked it out that you don't even have to do a tax return for your charities or your kids. They just build the whole tax system around making it easier. You remember how the Republicans wanted to reduce the amount of people in the US government that look after tax? Well, you can do that in other countries easier. Just make tax returns simpler. And then you won't need to employ so many people to make tax returns so hard. But obviously, the bribery within the American political system is why you need to do tax returns. That's the type of thing that would make people in any other country riot, is needing to do tax returns. And because of that, those simple things, those simple pieces of knowledge are the things that make people want to fight to make their country better. They want to make America a better place when they see that type of thing, and it's TikTok that shows it. And yeah, it'd be a shame if it goes. Not for me, because I'm not in the US. But it would severely impact the amount of Americans fighting to make America a better place.
Officers will no longer be able to remove trespassers from your residence.
Yeah, there's a guy in my shed. Oh, you can't come? Okay, I'll do it.